Hello and welcome again. Whilst you enter the relationship world, there are some appropriate vital elements that you want to take into account and keep in mind. The most fundamental factor is a person's mindset. An attitude can affect all the dynamics of a relationship and courting experience. Way of thinking entails how a person looks at the relationship and what dating utterly means to them. People in our today's society does not realize in which they ought to meet someone. They sit down in their lonely comfort wishing that they might meet the right man or woman and discover someone to spend their existence with. But they do no longer do something to attempt to meet someone. They just keep back in their household. This decreases their probabilities of finding anybody that they could spend time with and experience having in their life. Understand why you need to move on at this point. For the majority, it is a preference to not be alone. That is the motive that propels them to go into the relationship world once more. As they maybe draw closer into the courting scene, they seem determined, but needy. That is a very unappealing image, and could result in a pattern of attracting all the wrong types of people. So that you can prevent this, you need to change your cross-examination and figure having a person that could share your lifestyle as opposed to someone with the intention to simply fill the vacancy that you are feeling. It's far lovelier to have someone on your life that you may spend time with and do things with. However, you've got to gather with the intention to experience your personal lifestyles and be capable of surviving in your personal too, not earlier than when you are certain you may possibly enjoy life with someone else, or you are deceiving everyone. Discover the best in different people. Search for the positives. Do no longer focus on the bad elements, however, be aware of them. Those can provide you a warning of skills or risks that you need to be privy to. Your delightful mindset should come up with a great receptiveness, find thoughts to peer people for who they genuinely are. It's going to additionally make you extra attractive to different people as they recognize that you have an effective attitude and outlook. Remove all the bad words and behaviors out of your thoughts. Those arguments can basically create a poor mindset, and this reflects badly on other people and might provide them the incorrect idea about you. There's no person that wants to be with a terrible character. In case you get rid of the poor thoughts, you increase the opportunity of locating someone that you may spend some time in a nice relationship. Self-esteem is a totally perfect trait. People which are self-worth do no longer give off a needy or terrible look. They may be able to survive on their own, and this makes them ideal for different people. They turn out to be someone that other people need to be with and spend time with. Be a responsible individual. Responsibility is a very appealing quality to many human beings. In case you say you will do something, make certain that you do it. You do no longer need to have someone in your life that can't accept sense of duty, so it's far crucial to be accountable yourself. Conviction is the most critical component in attracting a potential mate. Attitude is vital to figuring out whether you may spend the rest of your existence alone, or if you may have a mate to live out the rest of your life with. Live and adapt to your routines, because the type of man or woman which you need to attract, and what you're seeking out in a potential mate, may already have a life of their own. If you have a terrible behavior towards it, you will want to work to change those, or modify your actions to be extra lovable and effective. Different people in the world are searching out the equal characteristics which you are. Being the pleasant man or woman that you can be will assist you to attract the achievable mate. There are numerous proper and incorrect things to do while you go on a date. Understanding what you need to be focusing on and what you want to keep away from on a first date can imply the distinction among a second date and having someone that by no means calls you once more. In case you understand what makes an ideal date, you may then move on to a first date with self-assurance and self-guarantee. You may now know what you are doing and what to anticipate. This limits the surprises that now and again arise and might damage a date. Be on time. One very critical element which you must do while you are going on a first date is to ensure that you are on time. The quickest way to make a terrible impact is to show up late. In case you are delayed, your date will suppose that you do no longer care about them, or that they may be no longer important enough to be able to be on time. Another awful end result is that your date might also determine that they do no longer need to look forward to you and could go away before you arrive. They say that the first impression is the lasting impact. Being on time for a date makes a great effect. Put your date comfortable. Do unique efforts to make your day feel as relaxed as possible. All of us get very apprehensive after they go on a first date with a person. In case you are making your date feel at ease, you may additionally discover that you are more comfortable and experience yourself a lot more throughout the date. Laughing at your date's jokes is one splendid manner to cause them to feel that you are inquisitive about them, and it's going to additionally lead them to greater security. Preserve communication alive. Be exciting and preserve the conversation alive. You do not want to show up for a date which you don't have anything to say and not anything to ask all night. You have to put together yourself beforehand and consider exciting subjects and matters that make a suitable communication. Pay attention honestly. Show a legitimate interest in what your date has to say. Pay attention whilst they're speaking to you. Let them recognize that you care what they're saying. Practice your communication abilities in advance of time. This can help you prepare for the date. Do not speak about yourself. You do not need to speak about yourself all night. This is a turn-off and is likewise impolite. You do not need to come off as being conceited or stuck on yourself. Ask questions about your date. Provide them the ability to speak. It isn't always all about you. In case you do all the talking and do no longer allow them to get a phrase in, chances are it will likely be your only date with them. No speaking of past relationships. Do not speak about your past relationships. Nobody honestly desires to listen about your ex. They do not need to recognize what the coolest factors and awful points have been. That is a massive turn-off and an assured way to substantially lessen the probabilities for a second date. That is a brand new individual and a brand new start. Focus on the date which you are with and start finding out about them. Thank you for being here with us today. For more information like this one, please visit Design Your World, and we see us next time. Goodbye.